Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all of you. Welcome to the session of webinar again, organized by the Sustainability Units of MPC, bringing to you also on the issues of circular economy, but this time a very interesting topic about ayam kampung. I'm sure everybody knows ayam kampung is very delicious for making curry, but what does ayam kampung has to do with circular economy and sustainability? So with us today is the expert of ayam kampung, but he's not going to tell us how to make curry out of ayam kampung, right? He's going to tell us what is ayam kampung about in connection with circular economy, in connection with the sustainability of the environment. Okay, the topic of our webinar today is sustainable ayam kampung farming using industry food waste. And the expert who is going to talk about this to us is Dr. Azhar Kasim. Now let me just introduce Dr. Azhar a bit. Currently, he's a consultant in animal nutrition, farm animal production system, and wildlife. Now, his career background as a veterinary office at the Department of Veterinary Service, and subsequently he became academician in University of Malaysia, and as a consultant of veterinarian and lead wildlife consultant for Perbadanan Putrajaya, and currently he's the MD for the Azul Green Resources. Now, with regard to his educational background, Doctor has a degree of Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. Now he's a double doctor, okay? He's in veterinary medicine from University of Putra Malaysia, and Masters of Poultry Nutrition, University of Georgia, Athens, Georgia in US, and he's Doctor of Philosophy in Animal Nutrition, University of Georgia, Athens, Georgia, US. So, without further delay, Dr. Azhar, please help us through the topics that you have given to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fauzia, as the moderator for this morning session. A lot of thanks to MPC to organize this webinar. As the title show in the slide in front of you, the title this morning is Sustainable Ayam Kampung Farming Using Industry Food Waste. In bahasa is peladangan ayam kampung secara lestari menggunakan bahan sisa industri. Okay, as we know, there are a lot of waste. Okay, my slide is not moving.
Okay. Your slide is not moving.
Okay.
Maybe Doctor, you go back to the PPT PowerPoint punya mode.
Okay, right.
Tadi kita test dalam PowerPoint punya mode.
Okay. Okay, right.
Right.
Right. Okay. Food waste. What is food waste? Food waste is usually the surplus of what we produce for human consumption, and either is sometimes it is expired, and sometimes it's our habit buying a lot. That means there is a surplus, and that surplus we call it as waste. And in circular economy, we want to prevent the accumulation of this waste at the dump site. And our target is to reduce this wastage, to recover as much as possible to be used again, and we recycle it. And by this way, when we recycle this, we example used as a chicken feed, we can reduce the cost, the wastage that has been done. Okay, and this can give positive environment impact. Then there will be less dumping on to the environment. And this using of industrial food waste, because food waste can become from kitchen scrap, can become from industry, like hotels, like agro-based industry. And in Japan and Korea, they are well established, and there are law that supported this, and a lot of the feed are recycled and be used in feeding. Okay, in Malaysia is limited. Okay, it has been a tradition using feed waste, but now due to expansion in animal industry, commercialization, people prefer using commercial feed rather than feed waste. And that's why my target this morning is talk about ayam kampung, because ayam kampung is a slow grower and is a village chicken of Malaysia. And what we know about ayam kampung, it can fetch good price. We can sell up to 25 ringgit per kilo, and it is a descendant of our red jungle foal from mixed breeding with a lot of exotic breeds. And this ayam kampung is as we see in the kampung, they are very agile. They know to scavenge, and they're very hardy. And the taste of the meat is considered premium because they contain certain metabolite like inositol 5-monophosphate and glutamic acid that they improve, or that result in better taste of the ayam kampung. And the ayam kampung is have very good texture. Realizing the importance of this ayam kampung, we did a research in UPM to improve this ayam kampung. That means since 2005, we do a selective breeding, and we end up by producing a very good, very prolific breed, and grow better, bigger size. We call it Akaputra, and that's the picture in front there. One of the initial phenotypes that we have, and we call it ayam. The Akaputra is a trademark. We also bred it as ayam jerai because our breeding farm is based at Iyan, at the foothill of the Gunung Jerai. That's why I call it ayam jerai. And
any
there
specific reason, doctor?
Yeah.
Any specific reason why it has to be at the foot of Gunung Jerai? Is it because of the climate? Is it because of the soil or the vegetation there?
Okay.
Is it, what is the reason for Jerai to be the farm?
All right. It's just by chance because we have a JV with a partner, and he offer us to put the chicken there, and the chicken are much healthier there because it's cooler, and the productivity of chicken is much better there. And we have 24 pure lines that reflect the type of ayam kampung that is in Malaysia, and we consider our project also in conservation of the different type of ayam kampung.
So before Dr. saya lupa tadi, Doktor, give me 1 second. Saya nak talk to the listener. If the listener kalau ada apa-apa soalan yang nak tanya dengan Dr. Azhar, please guna our chat box tu ya. Our chat box, ataupun you can guna the icon to raise your hand to ask questions to Dr. Azhar. Kalau in the chat box tu, I will read to Dr. Azhar soalan-soalan yang ditanya mengenai ayam kampung ni ya. Tolong ya, all the audience gunakan chatbot. Okay, doktor, proceed. Thank
Okay.
you.
Alright. As far as food waste utilization, I'm zero in into ayam kampung because other type of chickens, they're already in large scale and they are fast grower and they need formulated feed and they're using formulated feed. And as far as ayam kampung, their selling age is about as earlier as 2.5 or 3 months, sometimes 4 or 5 months. Compare to the broiler chicken where we can sell as early as 24 days. That's why because of this and because of practicality, it's good to be used in ayam kampung because the waste, the food waste is wet. The situation in Malaysia is that the food waste is wet and it's suitable to be offer outside the chicken house on a special flooring set that can be washed. Because of this situation, we still cannot offer food waste to chicken that are in the house. That's the logic behind that. And beside chicken, the industry food waste are also used in cattle, dairy, and also beef cattle, like the sago waste, soybean waste, and the most popular is the agro product, palm kernel expeller, that's been exported all over the world. And we zero into ayam kampung. Okay, that's what I mean. We have a cement flooring, or if you don't have cement flooring, you have something solid, so that after offering this wet feed, we can easily clean off the place. Because if we don't clean off, there'll be a lot of nuisance from flies and very bad smell. Okay, that's the weak part of giving food waste to ayam kampung. And we can also put the food waste in special feeder, and the feeder is located outside the house, so that the chicken only they will put their head outside to eat the feed. Jadi not necessary if your chicken tak lepas langsung lah. Kalau your chicken is 100% in the house, you still can use the wet feed, but in a special container. There always way how to come about. And what the situation now, there are a lot of food waste now. Okay. The report, the one I have now with me is from Star, about 6 years back, 5 years back, mentioning about 15,000 tons of food waste daily, with 60% or 8,000 are avoidable food waste, such as bread crust, juice pulp, and other things that be eaten. That can be avoided, but this turn up as waste. Okay, and this produce opportunity for the livestock sector to utilize. But previously, the food waste being utilized by swine atau babi ya. But now, since swine industry, since ternakan babi sudah makan dedak, use formulated feed, jadi they are not using feed waste. Okay, except for small portion. That means they open opportunity for the ayam kampung rearers to use this as a feed for the chicken. And there are a lot of research, okay, done to see the potential in terms of nutrient content. Okay, it's the protein is very high. Twice of that of corn, because the protein of corn is about 9%, 10%. It's about twice, and the calcium phosphorus ratio is quite okay for the chicken. And they have other such as the amino acid, fat, and research done in UPM. We can go up to 30-40% of the total feed. That means there are still area of research to be done so that we can use the feed in much bigger amount, not up to 40 or 50% of the feed. That's the situation now among the chicken raiser. They don't give 100%. They still give corn or some other feed to support. Okay, and the waste also depend on where you get the waste from. If you get the waste from a hospital, there will be higher protein, because those who are not they are sick, they don't eat much. There are a lot of high protein feed. Okay,
true enough.
and if you get the leftovers from pusat latihan belia or Institut Kemahiran, there will be a lot of high protein food at weekends, hujung minggu, because student suka makan luar pada hujung minggu atau balik kampung, and these are the situation, you know, and you get from restaurant not much banyak carbohydrate, not much protein, because people eaten up. Okay, and that's the situation.
Okay, can see the satay is also there in the plate, so the picture there.
Oh, tak selera nak makan. Some people makan.
Orang sakit tak selera nak makan, so bagi chicken makan lah. So ayam kampung ni, they don't have any restricted diet, so they can take any waste food that they can boleh makan ya. Any waste food pun dia boleh makan.
Okay. Ada dia punya dia situation. Artinya kalau nasi biryani atau nasi minyak, you kena cuci.
Sedap ya.
Kena rinse sebab ayam tak tahan minyak dia. Dia tak mau makan. Itu satu. But anyway, makanan yang dapat from leftovers biasanya makanan semalam, one day before. That means taklah basi sangat, tapi ada perubahan dari segi bau sikit. Jadi kena lalukan air supaya dapat buangkan dia punya flavor yang kurang baik. Okay, and then offer beraya.
Can we take questions from the audience kejap? Okay, the first question come from Sarah Dagang Abdullah. Puan Sarah asks, how do we differentiate the real ayam kampung with the commercial coloured birds in the market? Ada differentiation between ayam kampung and the commercial birds.
Okay.
And the second question, Dr. Vic, can we take another question? Good morning, Dr. Azra.
I jot down the.
Okay, please. Okay. Yang pertama tadi dia tanya differentiate, how to differentiate. Okay. Yang kedua ni dia tanya, please highlight. It comes from Chia Chi Fong. Can you please, Doctor, highlight the difference between food waste as to palm kernel cake to ruminants? We take these two questions first.
Okay. Okay. Actually, there's a big issue now because a lot of farmers are selling the color broiler as ayam kampung, and some are selling it as ayam kampung kacukan. Actually, the color broiler do not have even they don't have the ayam kampung blood. They are broilers. It's just the feather color is quite similar to ayam kampung. And the best way to differentiate is by DNA. And Maldi with Japtam Trina are doing nationwide sampling to differentiate DNA of to establish the DNA of ayam kampung. But by looking at the ayam kampung, those who are experienced, they can differentiate because the color broiler, as they grow older than 40 days, they become obese. They become fatter. That is why color broiler, they sell it as early as 35 or 40 days. So that when they are about 1 kilo, 1.2 kilo, their weight is close to ayam kampung. And their body are still slim. And this make the buyer confused or influenced by the terminology. Oh, ni ayam kampung kacuk. That means they still use the word ayam kampung for marketing, but actually it's not ayam kampung, it's a color broiler. And another difference is you cook the color broiler. The taste is much like broiler. If ayam kampung, the taste is nice.
Right.
And you can differentiate this by the price. In Pasar Borong, Pasar Raya, and so on, the color broiler is priced cheaper, but the ayam kampung has a premium price of 16, 17, up to 25. But this color broiler entrepreneur, they are smart. Okay, they sell it higher price so that we think that it's ayam kampung. And they're now selling it as ayam kampung perap and so on. Actually, it's not ayam kampung, it's color broiler. And they perap.
So they're cheating us.
That's the situation. We have complained to Japtam Trina and they are taking action, but still not seen the sort of action taken by Japtam Trina. Okay, the second question is food waste and PK, palm kernel expeller. Okay.
Yeah, to ruminants, yes.
Palm kernel expeller is a byproduct. That means it's a uniform. There is a uniformity in the product. It just comes from the palm oil fruit. Okay, from the kernel. Dia punya isi dalam biji kelapa sawit tu. Jadi it's uniform dari segi protein content and so on. And it is in great demand and exported worldwide. Sehingga our farmer nak beli palm kernel expeller pun terpaksa tertakluk pada harga global. Jadi mahal Pak nak beli palm kernel expeller. Jadi palm kernel expeller ni is used in ruminants. Dalam ayam tak boleh banyak, setakat 15-30% je, because dia punya fiber content high dan shell content high. Dia punya tempurung dia ada lagi sampai 10% pun ada. Jadi macam food waste ni kalau you get from various places, you blend it, you campurkan, dia jadi a bit uniform lah. Uniform pun dia ada serendah about 15% or 40%, setinggi sampai 20% protein dia. Jadi ada variability in the content of the nutrient, depend on where you get the waste from. Tapi in palm kernel expeller, the nutrient level is consistent. Itu bezanya. And bezaan lain food waste ni you dapat sediakan transport lah. The eateries, the hospital, dia tak charge apa duit pun. Jadi it's free ya.
Okay.
Unless the
so you just got to go and collect from the hospital or the restaurant, the free of charge.
What we do, we stand by empty container, and they put the waste in the container. The next money we collect container and replace with another empty container.
Okay.
That's how it's done. And then I hope it answers the question, okay, to the viewer. And I think I proceed. Okay. Okay. What's the practice? What's the practice? Okay, I proceed. Dr. Fauzia. Okay. How we go along with this food waste? Okay, we collect the food waste from hostels, from a hotel, from army camps, from Institute Kemahiran or whatever place, or from restaurant, and we coming when I reach our place, the Reban, we have to remove the inedible part, tissue paper, plastics, and some other things that's not edible. We put it aside, and we interested the stuff that the chicken can eat. And if the stuff appear fresh, not oily, some give the feed as it is to the chicken. But if the smell is a bit odor is not good, we can rinse it. Okay, lalukan air, dan dia bau tambah baik, and then we offer. Okay, there are cases that excess berlebihan. Jadi what farmers do, dia letakkan larutan effective microbes EM. They ferment it. Ataupun tutup it. Jadi boleh tahan sampai 2-3 hari. That's how it's done in Malaysia. Jadi the technology in providing food waste to chicken is still traditional, still tak kembang. Jadi to be sustainable, because the waste is a lot, jadi we need a proper proper way. We collect, we dry, or do whatever as we follow the example as what done in South Korea and Japan, because they do not waste their feed. They use almost what kitchen leftover or what leftover from the industry, because there are law that does not allow people to waste feed or food.
Okay. Doktor ada 2 questions with regard to food waste tadi, Doktor. Satunya datang dari Muhammad Ridwan Nur Zahari. Dia tanya, Assalamualaikum Prof. Is it better to use black soldier fly larvae to dispose of the food waste than use the chicken? And the other question is from Puan Nur Fazila Hashim. She asked how to avoid houseflies and bad smell when rearing ayam kampung. This is the common problem saya pun.
Okay.
Kalau busuk kan.
Okay. That very good question. Okay, about the black soldier fly, you please sign in for the webinar on the 23rd, because we will talk a lot of black soldier fly.
Okay.
2 days from 3 days from now.
Okay, we can skip to the next question then.
Yeah, because the waste material is the food for the black soldier fly.
Yeah.
Okay, you please attend the webinar on the 23rd. There will be very comprehensive. Okay, about the housefly. Okay, usually animal farming, people sometimes public is negative about animal farming. Sometimes chicken. Whenever they hear that a project is going to be coming soon, they start to protest and so on. Actually, it's the responsibility of the farmer. If your practice is you take care of the hygiene and you take care of the cleanliness, there will be no fly problem, because our farm in Yan Kedah has no fly and has no smell problem. what we did, we make sure that there is no spillage of water, and we spray with effective microbes almost every day, because we can produce our own effective microbes, EM solution. We can make our own, and we spray it dekat reban, jadi bau tak ada, lalat pun tak datang. And it's a matter of how you take care of cleaners, tak ada air takung, and macam bagi waste ni, make sure that after finishing giving the waste to the chicken, you wash the area and spray with EM. I think this issue can be handled.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Jadi, okay, the issue now is sustainable, lestari.
Yeah.
Okay. Saya nampak sini it can be sustainable. Tapi kalau you piara setakat single 500 ekor, okay lah. You kudrat, you mampu lah to handle. Tapi if your ayam kampung sudah commercial size, sudah piara 1,000, 5,000 or 10,000 at any time, jadi it become difficult to handle because berat basah, sebab the wet material 70% is water, jadi difficult to handle. Jadi in future we hopefully there will be a move so that there are some organization that can participate in collecting of this food waste, separate it, the edible and non-edible part. I think that can be done at the factory level or at the household level, and then we process it. The most important is to remove excess water and become dry. When it become dry, once we apply heat, the bacteria will die. Okay, it will be safe. And when we dry it, we can keep it for a long time, and we can make it into a pellet. And I think this will work well because this is what being done in Korea and Japan, and they are machine for doing this. And to make sure that this run very well, I think there should be a law or peraturan mewajibkan pengasingan bahan. Sebab in Malaysia, a lot of states in Malaysia already the pihak berkuasa tempatan sudah mewajibkan pengasingan, kecuali Selangor. Selangor tak ada dalam tu, tapi negeri lain ada buat. Jadi ini memudahkan lagi kalau ada usaha-usaha untuk proseskan this edible food waste so that can be turned into makanan ternakan. Bukan ayam. Once you dah proses, we are not talking about makanan ayam kampung. Mungkin makanan itik, makanan lembu, kambing and so on. Because these are what happen in overseas. Bukan saja jadi makanan ayam, jadi makanan ternakan lain. And nampak pellet tu nampak kita cakap senang tapi dia ada proses lah. Macam kita campurkan dia dengan soy hull ke wheat flour supaya dia dapat bentuk pellet yang kukuh. Okay, next. Okay, suruh slide. Okay, alright. Okay, ini contoh. Tadi ada gambar food dryer. Okay. Okay.
Pellet machine.
Okay. Dia nak ke belakang sikit. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay. Ni food waste dryer. Okay. And jadi kalau to make this happen, they should some sort of tax exemption or something so that people will like to do this. And this will incentive and so on. Yeah. Because a lot, there are what 8,000 to 10,000 edible waste kat Malaysia ni. It's just you can kena wujudkan logistik how this can be brought and be done. Okay. And okay, and there are a lot of ways how to make sure that this can last long. Jadi tadi saya cakap pasal pelleting. Satu dry. Jadi dia dry dia kecut. Tu dry form. Satu lagi you can ferment it. Okay, you perapkan. Jadi you perapkan, it become more digestible for the chicken, and it's easy to use by the chicken. And this has been done. Okay, this has been done overseas. It's just a matter of bila nak buat ni di Malaysia, and who's going to. Saya tahu, saya rasa ada yang dah buat ni. Tinggal lagi tidak low profile, sebab saya pernah dengar ada yang buat tapi still at low profile, and I think lepas ni mungkin we can pay a visit lah. So
mungkin not for commercialization kot, for own use mungkin.
So saya dengar and this is a good start lah kalau pada mereka yang dah buat. Okay. Jadi ini tunjuk jadi kalau food waste 1 ton, kita boleh dapat around 400 kg atau 390 kg chicken feed, 90 liter of liquid fertilizer, and 420 liter of distilled water. Ini kalau the process is well done. Itu dia jadi it's about 40%. 40% of the waste is dry and can be converted to chicken feed. When this happen, because of dry form of feed, then we are not talking of ayam kampung. We can also give to other type of poultry. Okay, and jadi it's up to us to move forward and to help the country to solve the issue of this waste. And I'm showing you a lot of pictures of the machine, because a lot of machine are available. You nak German German is expensive so cheap you from China. Yang cheap.
That's the option lah.
Tapi yang penting is workable and bring very good result.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. Are there any more question?
Yeah. Doktor nak ambil question dulu ya? Alright. Ini dia tanya pasal ini datang daripada Encik Kah Chun Lo. Tanya pasal ayam kampung ni boleh tahan cuaca panas 35 to 37 Celsius. Dia tanya panas, boleh tahan ke ayam kampung ni? Lepas tu soalan dari Nora Zura Hamid. Is there any side effect to the gut health as the village chicken fed from leftover food? Dia sakit perut tak makan leftover food ni, chicken ni? Dia tanya.
Okay.
Soalan dari Aziz. Ni dia tanya pasal nak buat pellet tadilah. Is there entrepreneur that process this way so that it can be packed like a dried chicken food like the duck, so that it is easier to manage and last longer? So soalan dari Kah Chun Lo juga, dia tanya do we have to provide grid for ayam kampung wrap in a closed system if we give them food? Dia tanya macam tu. Kena buat grid tak untuk bersihkan tempat tu kot? That is
Grid. Okay.
grid. G-R-I-T. So
RIT ni macam batu-batu lah dalam makanan dia. Itu nanti saya terangkan.
Okay.
Jadi soalan pertama.
As you go along, nak jawab soalan pun boleh ataupun nak tunggu slide doktor nak explain ke apa ke apa. I just read out the question for you.
Ya. Jadi tadi about temperature 35 to 37 is very high lah. Very high temperature. Ayam memang tercungap lah.
Panas.
It's very high. Panas sangat. Because the comfortable, kalau 26 is the uppermost comfort zone. 26. Kalau naik ke 27, 28, dia rasa tak selesa sikit. Tapi kalau 35 to 37 is too high. Ayam mencungap and then dia boleh heat stroke. Kurang selera makan. Jadi the most important thing is to have a very good roofing. Jadi bila roofing bagus, walau bagaimanapun ada walau bagaimanapun ni, ayam kampung tahan lasak. Okay. Kalau ayam daging 35 to 7 ni dah shock lah. Tak tahan. Tapi ayam kampung dia masih boleh tahan 35 to 7, tapi dia punya pengambilan makanan ni kurang lah. Sebab he's stress. Okay. And pada urban tu you sediakan vertical fan supaya dapat menyejukkan keadaan dalam urban. And then tadi pasal ayam sakit perut makan level. Okay. Saya ada mention tadi. Please be careful of benda-benda yang berminyak. Kita Malaysia ni banyak pakai minyak. That's why ada pengusaha yang dia bilas, lalukan air dekat makanan supaya excess minyak tu dapat buang. Ada juga yang mendidihkan air dalam periuk dan masukkan food waste. Tak didih sangat. Air itu panas sebab temperature 60 Celsius ke atas dia boleh bunuh kuman. The idea lah. Jadi itu cara dia. And another cara is mixkan makanan tu dengan EM, effective microbes. Sebab effective microbes ni dia akan by competitive exclusion, dia boleh expel bakteria kurang baik dan ayam tak suffer sakit perut. That's a very, very, very good question. I think that kalau ayam kampung ni dia jenis scavenging, dia dah biasa dengan benda-benda yang berasa pelik. Jadi saya rasa dia kurang sakit perut. Okay, pellet. Jadi pellet ni when something become pellet, jadi it's available lah. Tinggal lagi harga. Kita tengok dari segi harga dia berapa. That's why ayam kampung is the best candidate because walaupun kalau mahal pun the cost of this pellet, you still can jual ayam kampung RM18, RM20 sekilogram. You can still dapat untung yang baik. Tu kalau kita sebab kena tengok cost of pelleting tu, cost of drying, cost of pelleting. Itu ada cost tu. And because ayam kampung is a high end product, jadi mungkin this is no problem. Okay. Cakap pasal grid tadi. Okay, grid ni sebenarnya adalah batu-batu kecil. Ayam secara semajadi, kalau ayam kampung ni yang free ranging ni, dia akan kutip batu halus supaya batu tu membantu dalam penghadaman. Sebab ayam tak ada gigi. Jadi dia kunyah dalam hempedal. Jadi batu-batu dalam hempedal tu akan jadi macam menghancurkan makanan dalam jadi grinder. Jadi kalau ayam tu jenis yang berlepas, tak perlu ada bagi grade. Bagi ayam berkurung, tengok kurung macam mana lah. Kalau kurung atas pasir, no problem. Kalau kurung atas lantai semen, possibly you can provide pasir ke apa, so that dia boleh kutip dan jadi sebagai pembantu untuk grinding makanan. Itulah saya dah jawab 4 soalan dah. Okay. Jadi to become a very good pellet, jadi dia kena tahan lama lah. Okay. Make sure that dia punya very dry, about less than 10% moisture, dia kering. Okay. And then kita kena letak possibly some ada antioxidant ke, or some other material untuk dia tahan lama. And also kita boleh top up with something, okay, so that the nutrient level will be similar. That's why we need to analyze from time to time, so that kalau we marketed the pellet, we make sure that the pellet, the nutrient content is stable. Tinggi sikit tak apa, tapi kena stable. Okay, and this will be benefit lah the farmer lah, if they get a very stable high nutrient content feed made from industrial waste. All right. Okay, I move to the next slide. Tak mau gerak. Okay. Okay. Meantime ada soalan lain tak? Sebab I try to move the slide, tak gerak.
Yeah, okay. This one comes from Cik Ruli Punira from Sunny. Dia kata we have 200 kilogram of food waste daily. We throw it away to landfill. Boleh kami hantar pada tuan? Ni Ruli
ada
Punira dari
soal
Sunny.
tambahan. Daripada mana tempat? Dari mana tempat?
Sony. Bilang Sony.
Ya?
Mungkin kita minta tadi doktor ada letak email ke telefon doktor ke, boleh kita bagi tahu those who have food waste yang berminat nak bagi kat doktor, mungkin boleh contact doktor. Kan?
Okay.
Kalau ada among audience ni.
You can message me because at my Facebook my Facebook is Azhar Kasim.
Okay.
You can message me at my Facebook. We see how we can help you.
Yeah, okay. So those who are interested in hantar food waste, visit Dr. Azhar's Facebook. Azhar Kasim, ya.
Ini bukan nak janji saya ambil, sebab ayam saya bukan berada di Selangor ni, ayam saya berada di Kedah. What exactly. I can is to connect you to somebody that interested to take the food waste. And then the food waste bukan ayam saja makan, mungkin itik, mungkin for black soldier fly punya farmer, you know. So on black soldier fly pun nak food waste.
Alright.
Okay.
You ready to the next slide? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, the next is about tadi ada soalan pasal safety lah. Okay. Jadi kita aware of that. Okay, tak mau ayam sakit perut and so on. Jadi dia ada 3 bacteria that we don't want to accumulate dalam our food waste. That is Salmonella, E. coli, and Staphylococcus aureus. That's why to make it last longer, it's advisable to buat heat treatment about 75 Celsius for 20 minutes. Okay, contohnya lah. So that ni dapat basmikan bakteria tak baik, and the food will be safe. And kita kena kena ambil maklum juga the toxin yang from this bacteria and so on. That's why rinsing ataupun melalukan air tu is important lah. Supaya benda-benda yang menyebabkan sakit perut and so on dapat dikurangkan. Okay. Alright. Dia sementara tunggu slide ni turun lah. Kalau ada apa soalan, sebab slide ni dia slow lah. Dia tak bertukar. Okay. And,
okay. Soalan dari Puan Nurul Huda Muhammad Zairi. Ayam kampung, IMP is high. Is IMP related to genetic of management of chicken? If broiler raised using free range and fed organic waste will be fed with organic waste, will the texture be the same as the original ayam kampung? That's the two questions from Puan Nurul Huda.
Alright. Okay. Ayam daging, free ranging. Alright. Very good question. Alright. Those yang biasa makan ayam daging, eating broiler chicken, the meat is very tender.
Yeah,
why tender? Because they are slaughtered as early as 24 days. And those for KFC about 35 days. Jadi dia still budak-budak. And jadi to make the texture good, you kena piara ayam tu exceeding 2 bulan. Tetapi ayam daging tak boleh 2 bulan. 2 bulan dia jadi 3 kilo lebih, orang dah tak mau makan lah. Too big. Jadi itu sebab too big. Jadi itu sebab dan tak ekonomik lah. Sebab apa? Selepas umur 35 hari, ayam tu kurang kenaikan berat badan. Jadi nak dapat tekstur bagus, kena umur dia melebihi 2 bulan. Tapi ayam daging tak boleh, because dia makan banyak, you use a lot of money in feeding. That's why breeders in Europe produce the color broiler. The color broiler, the function of the color broiler is to provide meat of good texture. Okay, tak lembut daging. Daging tu ada kekenyalan. Jadi di Perancis diwajibkan for free ranging menggunakan color broiler. And sebelih tidak boleh sebelih awal daripada 80 hari. Boleh start sebelih 81 hari ke atas. Jadi ini adalah market untuk daging yang tekstur bagus, good texture meat. And this dia ada peraturan. Macam di US dia ada not less than 56 days supaya tekstur bagus. Okay? And jadi that's the reason for color broiler. The situation dekat Malaysia sekarang ni, color broiler tu tidak dipiara melebihi 80 hari. Dia piara 40 hari je, separuh. Jadi daging dia lembut. Tetapi dijual sebagai ayam kampung. Dijual sebagai ayam kampung. Dan bila sampai ke restoran, dia goreng 2 kali, jadi keras. Jadi orang makan, oh ni ayam kampung kan. Tapi mereka yang dah pernah makan ayam kampung akan dapat bezakan. Sebab ayam kampung ni dia punya manis dia lain sikit. Okey, jadi free ranging jadi free ranging ni biasa untuk color broiler. Ayam daging berputih dia tak tahan, he stress. Dia lembik sikit. Dia kena banyak suplemen vitamin supaya dia tahan lasak. Tapi color broiler is for free ranging. And then tadi ada kataan organic. Okay, ada disebut organic. We are talking organic farming. You do not use any chemicals during the management of chicken. You tak guna chemical. And makanan pun is from bahan yang tidak dirawat dengan chemical. Ataupun dikatakan dedak. Dedak komersial yang ayam daging makan sekarang ni adalah daripada at least 70% adalah dari kacang soya dan jagung yang ditanam menggunakan berlebihan bahan kimia. dan juga baja kimia. Jadi it's not organic lah. Jadi those yang nak ngaku organik, syarat bukan makan dedak. Kena makan makanan buatan sendiri daripada bahan-bahan tanaman yang tidak guna baja kimia. Itu dia panggil organik. Dan organik juga is involved with kebajikan, welfare. If you want to declare your chicken organic, it should be free ranging, should not be 100% keep in the chicken house. Then you can call organic. Okay, saya teruskan. Kalau kita tinggal lagi 5 minit, 6 minit.
Ya. Please.
Jadi jadi for salmonella control seperti apa saya cakap tadi, is heat treatment lah to kill this bacteria so that it will safe. Okay, and as a conclusion, what we are talking about is circular economy. Dia kata the food waste tidak go to the dump site, tidak mencemari alam sekitar. The food waste will be reused, recycle to become chicken feed, and along the process, if we do it on commercial scale, there will be also fertilizer coming from the water part, liquid part of the food processing, and then seperti saya tunjuk slide ni, kita boleh produce distilled water juga daripada processing ni. Jadi it will be beneficial. Okay, kita bukan dapat chicken feed, kita dapat baja, kita dapat water, and the end healthier product, and kita selamat alam sekitar daripada pencemaran, and that will solve the food security. Penting ni food security ya. Tak perlu lagi import jagung, kacang soya dengan banyak daripada luar negara. Save our government money. Okay, that's the end of my talk. Dr. Fauzia.
Okay. Kita ambil a few more soalan boleh?
Boleh,
satunya dari Ahmad Daumi Tahir. Salam doktor, berapa footprint untuk seekor ayam kampung Kak Reban? Footprint.
Berapa maksud tu?
Berapa footprint untuk seekor ayam kampung Kak Reban? Footprint.
Alright.
Okay. Soalan dari Puan Melissa. Maybe this is our last question. Putri. Tuan Doktor, EM ni boleh dibeli di mana ke atau boleh buat sendiri EM ni?
Okay.
Kita tanya pasal EM.
Dua-dua good question. Okay, tadi pasal piara ayam. Piara ayam kita bagi untuk pembesaran dapatkan 2 kaki persegi seekor ayam. Sekurang 2 kaki persegi dalam reban untuk ayam kampung. Dan untuk yang membiak, ayam tu selesa kalau bagi setiap seekor ayam 6 kaki persegi untuk seekor ayam. Itu yang selesa. EM ni kita boleh buat sendiri. Sebenarnya kita ni sepanjang hidup kita ni kita makan EM ni. Siapa makan budu tu EM. Kalau kita makan tempe, makan apa benda yang perap tapai, itu EM. Menyihatkan perut kita. Okay, EM ni boleh dibuat pelbagai bahan. Apa yang penting, bahan yang kita nak guna untuk EM tu, contohnya sayur atau buah-buahan tu, kita perap dalam bekas kedap udara. And then cecair tu selepas 3-4 minggu tu, cecair tu jadi ibu EM dan dikembangkan gunakan molasses. Dan ini cara nak buat EM boleh tengok dalam Google atau internet, dia ada panduannya. Atau apa bertanya Jabatan Pertanian atau Jabatan Betina. Mereka dah tahu sebab orang ramai guna EM. Nak beli pun boleh. Saya pun ada juga jual EM. Bertanya saya juga. Jadi ada buat sendiri ataupun beli.
Alright.
Itu dia.
Okay, Doktor. Okay, kita nak buat promosi sikit untuk minggu depan punya webinar. Okay. Minggu depan punya webinar is on the 23rd of October pukul 10 pagi juga. Tajuknya ialah Ekonomi Kitaran, Penyelesaian kepada Masalah Sistem Makanan, Lalat Askar Hitam, Black Soldier
Black
Fly.
Soldier Fly.
So stay tuned untuk minggu depan. Please register for those who are interested. And for those who wish to talk more, soalan-soalan yang kita tak dapat jawab, kita harap please contact Dr. Azhar through his Facebook, Azhar Kasim. And you can chat more with him and ask more questions with him. He has a lot of network and knowledge about Ayam Kampung. So do visit his Facebook for those questions that are unable to attend to. Okay, with that, we thank you so much, Dr. Azhar, and also to the audience for listening to the end of the session. Thank you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih Doktor dan Dr. Fauzia dan juga semua peserta yang hadir. InsyaAllah kita jumpa lagi Friday ni. Apa nama good topic to learn from Doc. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Thank you, Doktor. Thank you so much.
Salam. Ya, sama. Same to you. Terima kasih banyak Dr. Fauzia.
Yeah.
It was a very good session.
Yeah. Banyak interesting questions.
I hope our listener ni ataupun yang bagian yang faham sebab kita cakap bahasa Inggeris. Yang coming ni edited ni, saya tanya the panel, dia cakap slide dalam bahasa Inggeris tapi dia nak cakap rojak. Tak apa lah.
Tak apalah kan, campur lah. Okay.
Okay, thank you Doktor. Kita akan leave the session. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, goodbye. Okay, saya end saja. Okay.
Bye.
Alright, thank you very much.
Bye.